Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the stories shaping our world and uncover the truth that impact our daily lives. Today, we are diving into a controversial and headline-grabbing topic, former President Donald Trump's new tax proposal. What is the buzz about? Well, the plan includes significant tax cuts for the widest 5% of Americans while proposing tax increases for other income groups. This isn't just a policy discussion, it's sparking heated debates online, in political circles, and at kitchen tables across the country. Whether you are a supporter or a critic, one thing is for sure, this is a move that could reshape the financial landscape for millions of Americans. So what is really going on? Why is this plan being praised by some and madly criticized by others? In this video, we are going to break it all down. What is in the proposal, how it could impact different groups, and of course, the reaction pouring in from across the nation. Stick around because you won't want to miss the insights we have uncovered.
How much money do you make? 32,000, 59,000, 120,000, 250,000? Well, if you make anything less than 360,000, your taxes are going up. You're going to be paying more. So all the people who complain about the price of everything, the price of eggs, life is too hard, you can't afford anything, right? All these people here, not only is everything going to be more expensive because of the tariffs and everything else, but you have less money to purchase those things because you have to pay more taxes. The bottom 95% of Americans will pay more taxes. But look who gets the tax break. The top 5%, especially the top 1%. It's almost as if some people tried to warn you that the Republicans give a major tax break to the wealthy every time in office. Every time since Reagan, Bush, Bush Jr., and Trump all gave major tax breaks to the wealthy. They work for the fucking wealthy. It's almost as if I'll try to warn you for a long ass time. I mean, when are you people going to learn? Let's put it this way. How much money have you donated to Trump? And now how much do you think these wealthy corporations donated to Trump? You think he's going to choose you over the ones who give him millions of dollars? The GOP works for the wealthy, period. Get it through your fucking skulls. Just like the last time, he's going to give the wealthy and the corporations trillions of dollars at our expense. You don't care, though. Your boy's in office. He's going to make everything great, right? So not only is he going to fuck everything up with the tariffs and deportations, everything's going to be a lot more expensive. But your taxes are going up, too. You're not going to afford shit. You guys heard of the keto diet and the Atkins diet? Well, there's going to be a MAGA diet now. A lot of Americans, and mostly MAGAs, aren't going to be able to afford anything anymore, and it's because of you. It's because of your gullible asses. I mean, Kamala wanted to lower your taxes and raise the taxes for the super wealthy who can afford it. But you guys are like, no, I don't like the way she laughs. And you wonder why the world makes fun of you people. You guys fucked around, and this is just one of the ways you're going to find out.
Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters, if you will. Does this matter to you yet? Do you care yet? This is Trump's tax proposal for 2026. It's basically a continuation of his 2017 plan, which we are currently still suffering from. Side note, I don't know why so many people are in denial that we're currently still suffering from Trump's tax plan. But we are. And now he put out another one saying, hey, of course the column he's in is going to get a $36,000 tax reduction. But for the working class Americans, the average American is going to have a $1,500 tax increase. And what I find super hypocritical, right? Throughout this entire election, I've heard so many of you sitting here, well, he's going to make groceries cheaper. He's going to make everything better for Americans. He's going to fix the economy, make America great again. And then immediately after he won, he did an interview and said, yeah, I actually don't have the power to do any of that. And you turned around and we're like, we don't mind paying a little extra for groceries if our economy is going to get better. Well, here's your better economy. So you're paying extra for groceries, you're paying extra for taxes, you're paying extra for everything. But they're not. He's not. So when are we going to stop fighting amongst ourselves and start fighting against them? Because regardless what side you're on, you should care about this. You should care that you're being exploited by the government to make rich people richer.
This snuck by me. Trump's tax plan snuck by me real fast. So if you make less than $28,000, your taxes go up by $790. Okay. If you make $28,000 to $55,000 a year, your taxes go up $1,400. If you make $55,000 to $94,000 a year, your taxes go up $1,500. And if you make between $94,000 and $157,000 a year, your taxes are going to go up almost $1,800. But if you make $157,000 to $360,000, you only gotta pay an extra $610. But if you make more than $360,000, you get a nice little tax cut. And if you make more than $914,000 a year, then you get a pretty nice little cute little tax cut, you know, $36,000. A little bonus, if you will. I mean, like, I knew. It's just kind of crazy to see it, you know, in like a chart form. It literally says poorest to richest, and the poorest get a tax increase and the richest get a tax cut. It's right there, literally in blue and yellow. It's wild to see, you know? Now I'm like, if this goes through, I see that maybe the Electoral College makes over $360,000 a year. I guess so. We'll see how it goes, man.
So the incoming president has suggested on the Joe Rogan show that he would eliminate income taxes and replace those with tariffs. I'm a lawyer and a tax attorney. Let me talk to you about this for just a second, because we're going to get into some policy here. First of all, when you've passed an income tax that is as far-reaching as ours, and it goes back as far as it goes back, you've entangled everything in our society vis-a-vis that income tax. Social Security, our military, our interstates are all paid for by income taxes. But if you replace those income taxes with tariffs, what you're doing is effectively passing along the increased cost of that asset that's being sold with a tariff on it to the consumer, which is you. And that means you're going to pay more for a car, a truck, you know, anything that comes from overseas or from another country that has a tariff assessed to it. That really doesn't help the whole inflationary issue that we have going on in the country right now, because we're trying to get costs down. Tariffs will increase costs, even if we eliminate the income tax. I just don't see it being effective in the way that the incoming president wants to see it be effective. What do? Well, there's the concept of a value-added tax, a VAT tax. If you go to Europe, you'll see this. It's everywhere. They just have a federal sales tax on everything. All you're doing is collecting the tax at the time of sale, so it gets remitted by the retail center to the government. So that might be an option here. Let me know what you think in the comments. I just don't think it's a viable option to eliminate the income tax completely. And I'm saying that as a tax lawyer. I'm not trying to keep my job by working on taxes. What I'm trying to do is look at this from a holistic standpoint and say, I don't think that means what you think it means. Anyway, like and follow for more.
I've seen other creators who I respect talk about this, and I have to give my 2 cents. In the background is a graphical representation of Agent Orange's proposed tax plan. Now, this was produced by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. You can go to their website and check it out for yourself. And they also lay out their methodologies for creating this graphical representation. Again, based on Agent Orange's tax plan. But in a nutshell, those of us who make less than $300,000 a year will see an increase in our taxes. The only people who will see a tax cut under Agent Orange's plan will be those who make over $300,000 a year. Oh, and if you make over $900,000 a year, you get the biggest tax cut of all under this proposed tax plan. Let me just break this down for you and what I feel will probably happen if this bullshit goes through. The revolution will be televised. I've already said that people are fed up. We are pushed to the brink, trying just to survive. And the United Healthcare situation should be a wake-up call to the 1%. But you know, they're stupid. They're insulated and completely out of touch. And they probably think that that was an isolated incident. But let this, again, proposed tax plan go through. We are already struggling with wages that have remained stagnant for decades. Prices are going up because companies are taking advantage of planned tariffs by Agent Orange in increasing prices after prices were already inflated and it was blamed on a recession that never happened. We already know about health insurance. Everything is going up. But now, if you make less than $300,000 a year, your tax burden will go up, while the wealthy will see less in taxes. Let this bullshit go through. Again, the revolution will be televised.
This snuck by me. Trump's tax plan snuck by me.
Which shows the estimated tax effect of people of certain income groups, and we can see that lower income groups receive a tax increase while the upper class is getting a tax cut. So I was really curious after seeing this article about what tax law changes are there going to be that cause income taxes to go up on lower income people. So I went and found that same article that everybody's using in these videos, and I just scrolled down the page a little bit, and they tell you what policies they included in their estimates. And we can see, okay, this is income tax, that's income tax, that's income tax, that's income tax, that is tariffs, that is not income tax. So basically what this study did in order to get these numbers was they didn't just take into consideration the income tax policy that the Trump administration has, but they also tried to figure in an amount for the implicit tax of tariffs. Is an implicit tax? An implicit tax is a tax that you don't really see. For example, income taxes are not an implicit tax because you see them come out of your check. You see them. Tariffs, you don't really see them. They'll just increase the cost of products. So the way that this organization presented this article, it made it seem like they were just talking about income tax policy, but then when you get into the article, they're talking about tariffs as well. And we can see here from the same article, Trump's proposals to extend the 2017 tax law will cut taxes for all income groups. So be careful what you read.
Alright, these proposals, as reported, aim to slash taxes for the wealthiest 5% of Americans, while at the same time raises taxes for the middle and lower income brackets. Now let's unpack this. For the wealthiest Americans, those already sitting at the top of the income pyramid, this could mean substantial savings. But what about everyone else? Imagine earning an average wage only to find your taxes increasing while billionaires get a financial break. This is the crux of the outrage that is sweeping across the nation. Let's begin with the core arguments from Trump supporters. They claim these tax cuts will spur economic growth. The idea is that when the wealthy save more money, they will reinvest it into businesses, leading to job creation and innovation. It's a familiar argument rooted in what's often called trickle-down economics. But here's the thing, this theory has been tried before and its results are far from universally celebrated. Critics point to historical instances where similar policies primarily benefited the rich, while leaving middle and lower income groups struggling to keep up. The disparity only widened the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Now, let's talk numbers. Middle-income households under these proposals could see their tax rates increase by several $100s annually, money that would have gone to rent, groceries, or savings for emergency. For lower-income families who often live paycheck to paycheck, this kind of increase could push them closer to financial instability. On the flip side, the top 5% people already earning millions of dollars annually might pay significantly less in taxes. To put it bluntly, the proposal seems to favor the wealthy while shifting more of the tax burden onto those who can least afford it. And that brings us to the public reaction. Social media has exploded with criticisms with hashtags like tax the rich and economic injustice trending for days. Some posts have called this a betrayal of working class. One tweet summed it up perfectly. How can anyone justify rising taxes on struggling families while billionaires get richer? But not everyone opposes the plan. Supporters argue that the tax cuts for this wealthy aren't just about rewarding the rich. They believe these cuts will create jobs, increase wages, and ultimately benefit the economy as a whole. One prominently conservative pundit recently said, "This is the kind of bold economic reform we need to stay competitive on the global stage." So, who is right? To answer that, we have to dig deeper into the data. Economists have long debated the effectiveness of tax cuts for the rich in stimulating economic growth. While some studies show a temporal boost, others argue that the benefit doesn't trickle down as expected. Instead, much of the extra wealth tends to stay at the top, fueling investment in financial markets rather than job creation. But this isn't just an economic issue, it's also a moral one. Policy like this force us to ask hard questions about our values as a society. Should the wealthiest Americans who already have access to immense resources pay less in taxes? Or should we focus on policy that eases the burden on middle and lower income families who are often one unexpected expenses away from the financial disasters? Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This proposal isn't just about taxes, it's about power, priorities, and who gets to benefit the most from our economic system. If implemented, these changes could widen the gap between the rich and the poor, potentially destabilizing an already fragile social balance. And let's not forget the long-term implications. When economic inequality grows, it doesn't just hurt those at the bottom, it affects everyone. Reduced public funding for schools, healthcare, and infrastructure impacts society as a whole is a ripple effect that touches every corner of the economy. So, where do we go from here? Many critics argue that instead of focusing on tax cuts for the wealthy, we should address the loopholes that allow corporations and billionaires to avoid paying their fair shares. Others suggest implementing more progressive tax policy that ensure the richest Americans contribute proportionally, while providing relief to those who need it most. In the end, this debate isn't just about dollars and cents, it's about fairness, opportunities, and the kind of country we want to build. Trump's tax proposals have reignited this conversation, forcing us to confront tough questions about our economic priorities. As we wrap up, I want to hear from you. What do you think about these proposals? Are they a bold step toward economic growth or a policy that risks deeply inequality? Let me know your thoughts and let's keep this conversation going. Thank you for watching, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Let's share our thoughts and perspective with one another. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on this story and more. I will see you in the next video.